Blessed be your name in the land that is plentiful, with streams of abundance flow. Blessed be your name. Blessed be your name when I'm found in the desert place. Though I walk through the wilderness, blessed be your name. Every blessing you pour out, I'll turn back to praise. When the darkness closes in, Lord, still I will say, blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your glorious name. Blessed be your name when the sun's shining down on me, when the world's all as it should be. Blessed be your name. Blessed be your name on the road marked with suffering. Though there's pain in the offering, blessed be your name. Every blessing you pour out, I'll turn back to praise. When the darkness closes in, Lord, still I will say, blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your glorious name. You give and take away. You give and take away. My heart will choose to say, Lord, blessed be your name. You give and take away. Give and take away. My heart will choose to say, Lord, blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your glorious name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your glorious name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your glorious name. It amazes me how strong the power of love can be. Sometimes you just take my breath away. You watch my love grow like a child, sometimes restless, sometimes wild. Sometimes you just take my breath away. To slip by, and it's too good to lose, too good to be there just to you. I'm gonna stand on the mountaintop and sing the news that you take my breath away. that you take my breath away. Yeah, and it's too good to slip by, and it's too good to lose, too good to be there just to use. I'm gonna stand on the mountaintop and tell the news that you take my breath away. Sometimes it amazes me. Sometimes it amazes me. Sometimes it amazes me. Sometimes it amazes me. Nobody is right all the time. Nobody can walk a straight line. Every one of us makes mistakes. Every one of us deviates. Nobody is right all the time. Nobody gets dealt the same hand. Whose life goes according to plan. No telling what the day will bring. No telling how the night will end. Nobody gets dealt the same hand. Show a little mercy up there on the high ground. Show a little mercy, you might be the next one down. Show a little mercy, join hands with the human race. You never know, someday you might need some saving grace. You might need some saving grace. So don't set yourself up for a fall. Don't think yourself high above all. Keep walking with the humble man. Keep walking till you understand. Don't set yourself up for a fall. Oh, show a little mercy up there on the high ground. Show a little mercy, you might be the next one down. Show a little mercy, join hands with the human race. You never know, someday you might need some saving grace. Show a little mercy up there on the high ground. Show a little mercy, you might be the next one down. Show a little mercy, join hands with the human It's 8 o'clock on a Sunday. Regular crowd shuffle in. There's an old man, he's sitting next to me, making love to his tonic and gin. He says, son, can you play me a memory? I'm not really sure how it goes, but it's sad and it's sweet, and I knew it complete when I wore a younger man's clothes. La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la, la. Sings the song us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody. I hope you are. You got us feeling all right. Now John at the bar, he's a friend of mine. He gets me my tricks for free, and he's quick with a joke, or he'll light up his smoke, but there's some place that he'd rather be. He said, John, I believe this is killing me. As a smile ran away from his face. Oh, I know I could be a big movie star if I could get out of this place. La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la, sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling all right. Now Paul, he's the real estate novelist who never had time for a wife. And he's talking with Davy, who's still in the Navy, and probably will be for life. And the waitress is practicing politics as the businessmen slowly get stoned. Well, they're sharing a drink they call loneliness, but it's better than drinking alone. La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la, la la. Sing us a song, the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling all right. Pretty good crowd for Sunday. And there she is, ladies and gentlemen, the woman who looks 30 and yet
in what kind of
is
universe
nearly
you live in,
3
my
times
darling?
that age. We welcome you. I'm going to take this stupid hat off. Well, no, I'm not going to take the glasses off.
Take your glasses off. Yeah, we can't see
I
your
just wanted
face.
to be cool for a minute because
Yeah,
I'm not
no,
cool.
they noticed. They
I've
got
got
said you
past
looked
that
cool.
age of
They
coolness.
said you looked cool. It's all right.
Did they say I look cool?
Yeah, they did.
Do you know what? It's turned into a bit of an image, isn't it, really? And it was not a deliberate thing. It was a kind of a thing where I went and bought this hat because I was up in the Lake District. Was it last year?
Yeah,
Yes.
it must have been up when we were there for the hotel.
Hotel, that's
in
right.
Thornley.
And
We
because
were
it's
up
the
in
Lake District...
Ullswater. We were up in Ullswater.
We were, Ullswater, the beautiful Ullswater, my lovely Ullswater. And we were there, and I went into the shop, I was looking for, and we couldn't find it anywhere, could we? And it was this shop, and the woman was a little perplexed by me, I think. Well, who isn't?
Well, I was going to say, that doesn't put
honest.
her in a class of one, does it?
No. Oh. Okay. Just because Rachel's away, you don't have to behave badly. I mean, anyway, so what I ended up doing was I looked at this hat and I said to Sue, do you think it's a little bit outrageous? And she said, oh no, she said, that's it, that's it.
Ideal for you, darling.
Sorry?
Outrageous, ideal for you.
It was actually, it was. Because I like outrageous. Can't see a thing through these glasses, so I'm going to have to clean them. Couldn't see through many things through the other ones either. But it's now formed. Everybody there was this little boy. Did you know there was this little boy who said to me, Mummy, look, there's a cowboy.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, outside the co-op. So I thought, I'll live with that. I'll have that. Went to the university.
Helen Thomas just said, but JV, I want to know where your horse is.
Yeah, there's a joke in there somewhere, and I can't remember it. There is a line, but I can't remember it. And Andy, could you write in quickly with the joke, please? Because honestly, he knows.
He's forgotten it, although he's told
Andy,
it 16 times today.
Well, Andy Atvarney. Although we did go somewhere where the fence looked as though you could tie horses
Yeah,
up,
we were
didn't you?
visiting friends for lunch today, and they got this lovely house, lovely garden that they just moved into, and there was a sort of construction in front of a tree,
Yeah,
I think, to hold the tree in place. But it looked like one of those things that you tie a horse to.
Yeah, go on. You expected Lone Ranger and Toto to be just around back there. Anyway, how are you doing this week, Sue? A busy
week, yes.
Busy
a couple
week?
of funerals, and that went well, which was good.
She can't stop talking. Literally, she goes past the funeral directors. She goes like this. Yeah, like that. Like it's a croissant, a hot croissant or something, or a hot meal. What is wrong with you?
Should I pop in and say hello?
Yeah, and when you go past
The
cemetery,
late district has a long way to go to take a funeral.
Although I did go to a great funeral this week.
You went to one, didn't you?
Yeah, Sue Legg's husband's father, Steve, his name was, and I didn't know him, but actually I went to out of respect for Steve, and it was a lovely funeral. It was a lovely service led by a very experienced celebrant. Apparently he's done 5,000.
Oh dear, I've got a long way to go.
He's got a long way to do. Just only got 4,900 left to go. So what have you done now?
Actually, it's just shy of 100.
Just shy of 100. So, anyway, we welcome you tonight to.
We do. Thank you.
It's a warm evening and everything else, and there's a pretty good crowd for a Sunday. And the manager, well, she gives me a lovely little smile, 'cause she knows that it's me they've been coming to see, to forget about life for a while. Oh, and the piano, it sounds like a carnival, and the microphone, it smells like a beer, and they sit at the bar and put bread in my jar. I say, man, what are you doing here? La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la, la. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling all right. Just around the bend, in the same key, sure did that. She was practically ready to. Well done, love. She's on her own tonight, so here he goes. Been a long time traveling down this hard and rocky road. We're all just trying to survive, walking together and sharing the load, doing all we can to stay alive. I believe the journey is nearly over. I believe these troubled times will end. I believe we'll find a better place just around the bend. We may be weary, and sometimes we just don't know how we can keep on keeping on. Take one day at a time and trust that history will show. When we're united, we are strong. I believe the journey's nearly over. I believe these troubled times will end. I believe he'll find a better place just around the bend. Take care of each other, for we all need the hope that heals, the love that mends. Even when the darkness is as far as we can see, the sun will shine again, I believe, just around the bend. Just around the bend. So take care of each other. We all need the hope that heals, the love that mends. Even when the darkness is as far as we can see, the sun will shine again somewhere just around the bend. Just around the bend, oh. I believe the journey is nearly over. I believe these troubled times will end. I believe he'll find a better place just around the bend. I believe he'll find a better place just around the bend. What happens when you swallow at the wrong time? Just around the bend. Bam, boom. A great song there. We sung last night live, Paul Field concert in Croydon. We had Jezza there. We had Elaine there with Peter. And it was great
David
to see
Hicks
the people.
there. David went with you.
David Hicks went. He went with me, and we had to negotiate round the M25, which was a real pain, and into the much hailed and much vaunted ULEZ zone. And 20 mile an hour everywhere, apart from where it's not, and then that's 30, with no particular explanation. Could somebody help me there? Anyway, you live in Wales, don't you, Gareth? Right, now they've stopped all that nonsense, haven't they?
It looks like they've reinstated
30, because it was a waste of time. We all knew it was. It was always, those of us who are sceptics in this world, we knew it was a waste of time and a waste of money. So let's hope that ULEZ, old Mr. Thingy, who's been voted back in.
Anyway.
What?
Can I just say welcome to anyone who is watching.
For the first time.
Yeah, first time. And also anyone who was at the Gainsborough concert last week. It was a lovely time. Lots of lovely people. And
let's tell you a little bit about that.
Jonathan got himself into a bit of hot water on a couple of occasions.
It was great, wasn't it?
It was great, yeah.
Because I don't know whether you know, Gainsborough, Gainsborough, that's right up in the east of England, all right? It's near Grantham, that kind of area. And it's if you're going to Spring Harvest, it's around about, you've got another 4 hours to go. Anyway, Gainsborough was, in the year 1013, for 6 weeks, it was the capital of England and the capital of Denmark. Now, did you know that? Now, we did our due diligence.
Yes, I read it all out to Jonathan on the way up there, and he was thrilled with this bit of information and immediately told them all about this.
The whole, my newfound information. So I went up to this woman in the front row, and I said to her, good evening, madam. I said, did you know that England was capital of Denmark, that Gainsborough was capital of England, and that it was capital of Denmark as well? And everybody shouted out, yes, she did. She's the head of history at Gainsborough High School.
Nice one, JV. Nice one.
So that didn't go down too well. And so I then went across the way, the pier, and I said, so what about you? Did you know? He said, yeah, I knew. Everybody knew. So I thought, so I'm the only one who didn't know. I was let down. Couldn't they have just feigned ignorance just for a minute? Anyway, before that, a newfound friend, and I talked to the warden there, church warden, lovely man, and we started talking about his life and everything that he did, and we formed a kind of a little bond beforehand. And anyway, he got up to introduce me. And he got up, and he's a lovely man, introducing, and he said, I met him before, and he's lovely man, and you're going to, just a big warm welcome, please, from Gainsborough, to Mr. Keith Veira. I said, so everybody shouted out, no, it's Jonathan. And he looked around at the poster that says, not dead yet, Jonathan Veira. And he went, oh, yes, I'm so sorry. He said, so, we welcome Mr. Keith Veira. Literally, he did it 3 times. By then, I was Keith. And I was Keith for the rest of the evening, and I'm thinking of having my name changed by deed poll to Keith, because I think I look like a Keith Bob, don't I? Keith Bob Richards.
Really? Can I just say, I'm not getting any messages from anyone. Gareth, have you switched something off or something? Because I told you off earlier on. But I'm not getting any messages from anyone. And as I'm driving this ship on my own, I would really need your help. So
are you on proper? Are you on the?
I'm on proper. Yes, I'm on proper.
You sure? So yes. No messages at all?
I've had lots of messages, and then all of a sudden they've stopped. So if you haven't written a message for a while,
just make sure you've got it on the right thing,
so that I know that you're still out there.
Or you can write to me. Anyway, I just want to tell you, this is a little bit of sad news, really, in a way. Friends of ours, and after another row between us, my partner broke the silence by saying, "This isn't working, is it?" And the man said it was like a huge weight had been lifted off me, and I turned to her and said, "Thank goodness you feel the same way. The thought of living in a loveless relationship for years to come was overwhelming me. I'll start looking for somewhere to live first thing in the morning." As tears welled up in her eyes, she replied, "I was talking about the microwave." Thank you, Andy Hatvarney, for that one. And I'm going to do a little song, and then after that, Sue, it's going to be
the video.
It's going to be for Dan, because we missed it.
Yes, we need to get that in quickly, don't we?
We do.
So which one are you going to do?
I don't know where you put them. Here we are.
I told you they're in the order.
Here we are. I can't see the order, Sue. I'm blind. You know I am.
Can I just say, in my defence, he put them in the book this week, so I don't accept any responsibility.
Okay, and this one, just a little bit of... myself, no one to walk with, but I'm happy on the shelf and misbehaving. I'm saving my love for you. I know for certain the one I love will come through if certain it's just you I'm thinking of and misbehaving. I'm saving my love for you. Like Jack Horner on the corner, don't go nowhere. Why do I care? Your kisses are worth waiting for, believe me. Don't go and stay with Dad, don't care to go. I'm home about 8, just me and my radio. Ain't misbehaving, I'm saving my love for you. Like Jack Horner in the corner, don't go nowhere. Why do I care? Your kisses are are worth waiting for, believe me. I don't stay out late, don't care to go. I'm home about 8, just me and my radio. Ain't misbehaving, I'm saving my love for you, baby. I ain't taming, I ain't misbehaving. I'm staying, I ain't misbehaving. I'm saving all my loving for you. I'm saving my love for you. Must get this piano tune.
Does it need it? Oh, it does.
Oh, yes.
It does.
It does. Have to get that done again. Well,
the lovely Fiona from Gainsborough is here, so that's great.
Fiona,
Lovely
lovely
Fiona's
to
here.
see you.
And unfortunately, everybody's saying things like, I don't know where Gainsborough is, but I know that Slough Town beat them in some football match somewhere. It says an awful lot of Gainsborough
Fiona,
being beaten.
can I just apologise for the people in this community?
Just a very, very bad lot. They're
It's a very bad lot. Gainsborough,
led by Gareth Hill, can I say. Doesn't matter what we do, Gareth is very badly behaved.
Is it him?
Yes.
Right.
But if it's not him, I'm going to blame.
Okay, you're going to blame him. And I think, actually... Now, let's just talk about Dan for a minute, shall we? We're going to get our guests in very soon.
Yes.
Because they are champing at the bit next door. And when I say next door, in the mansion next door. Somebody shouted out something. Anyway, so we're going to sing a song for Dan. Because Dan, bless him, has been asking this song for 2 weeks. And I forgot last week, or did we run out of time?
We did do it, but
Dan
I think
Bellamy.
he's gone to bed. So
And Dan, yes,
I hope you're still with us, Dan, because he's going to do it now. I've got the backing track. Are you wanting to?
that's what I'm going to do it. Do it to the backing
Excellent.
track. I have no idea where it is. Hold on. Where is it? God of the Moon ain't misbehaving. All that matters is right at the back. Yeah. It's okay. I think I know it anyway. But let's just.
Okay, let's play it now, shall we?
Here's life in all its mystery, the beauty and the tragedy, the silence and the symphony, and everything between. And deep inside the heart of man, the need to know and understand. Are we a part of some great plan, or just a passing dream? Philosophers philosophize, but rarely look you in the eyes. And politics is compromise that rides the ebb and flow. And money talks and fashion screams to fill the space inside your dreams. If you want something to believe, I'll tell you what I know. My maker is my savior, my creator. He's also my friend, and to find him and his favor is all that matters in the end. Spirit of the age decrees, we may not speak in certainties, but that's what Jesus is to me, the bedrock of my soul, a savior who can really save, a power stronger than the grave, the greatest gift I'll ever have, the deepest joy I know. Oh, my maker is my Savior, my Creator, is also my friend, and to find Him and His favor is all that matters in the end. Oh, my Maker is my Savior, my Creator, is also my friend, and to find Him and His favor is all that matters. He's all that matters. He's all that matters in the end. In the end. I love this play out. Come on, Mark, play it for us. Here he goes. And that's the great, great sound of Mark Edwards on the piano, and my sons doing, Matthew and Nicholas doing backing vocals, with some fabulous playing all the way round. That's my Maker is my Saviour, my Creator is also my friend. To find Him and His favour is all that matters.
And why did Dan want in particular?
Well, because Dan is having a bit of a difficult time at the moment, and he's having various scans, and the decision is not fun. I'm not going to talk about it too much on the air. But he's got another appointment very soon, and he said there'd be many tears, and it's difficult for him, and he's trying to, one of the things is you can pray for that he gets his benefits, because the doctor said, the consultant said, I have no idea why they're not paying you your benefits. So it's one of those things where it's difficult for him to live with, and the stress and anxiety that goes with it. So we send big love out to you, Dan, and hope that this week is a slightly better one, all right?
And
Okay,
the
good.
same too for Joanne Newson, and we think of her, I don't know whether she's still in or whether she's gone off to do her work, but she's had a bad weekend, a bad few days with her parents, and she needs some extra help and extra support. So we need to be praying for her to get that extra support to help her with her family. So
Excellent. Now, it's
Excellent.
12:30.
Yes, we need
I think
to
it's
have
time for a video.
Okay.
And so, well, we're going to get our guesting. Now, Chris, and don't go away. Don't just go away and make a cup of tea, or do and be ready to sit down. And we're going to play you a lovely video, and then we're going to introduce you to Chris and Denise Arthys, and you are going to love them. They are great people, and we're going to have a great time here directly after this video. This is your moment. Young people, can I just point out the people that are going, oh, Brian, he's playing our song. Lovely. And there are those of you young people going, I don't know what he's like, man. I don't know what he's talking about, you know? Like, it's totally not my music, you know, man? And those of you from Surrey say, I don't know what any of this is about, to be perfectly honest. London, 1964. Jim Reeves. Put your sweet lips a little closer to the phone. That's what we used to do. We used to start on Tuesday and finish on Wednesday, I know. It's a great technique. And let's pretend that we're together, all alone. Remember the backing seekers? They were hired, job lot from Star Trek. Remember that? You like that one? That's good. And now the thing is about that tonight, this is your opportunity. Shine the lights on them, Nigel, baby. Give them. On the other hand, just turn the lights off. But That's better. That's better. But no, right, bring them up a little. And what you're going to do is you're going... Try that for me. So none of you have had a musical education as such. So here we go. You're going to put it in all the right places, okay? I want feeling with this. I want emotion. Obviously, you just do what you can with what you've got.
Put your sweet lips a little closer to the phone. Let's pretend that we're together all alone.
It's okay, it won't go in the DVD. I'll tell the man
To turn the jukebox way down low.
that is very sexy, isn't it? Be honest. You're all sitting there saying, Brian, why can't you sing like that? Brian, you could. £25 an hour, I can help you.
And you can tell your friend there with you, he'll have to go.
It doesn't get any better, that's the frightening thing.
Listen, sweetheart, tell me, do you love me true? Or is he holding you the way I do?
All right, now I want you now to imagine you're at a concert, okay? So I want you to put your hands in the air for me now. Put your hands in the air, there we go, right? And now I want you to go this side, and then to that side, right? Then from this side, and down to that. That includes you, sir. In fact, particularly you. He said, I've lifted my hands above here for 25 years, and I'm not starting right now. And you with the nasal problem, that definitely means you, and don't blow it. All right. Okay, up, hands up, here we go. Don't start yet. I'll tell you what, sir, could you come up for me? Yeah, you come up, and you're going to follow Adrian. What's your name, sir? Paul. It's a bit of a boring name, isn't it, Paul? But there you go, stand over there. Right. Right now, Paul, you're going to lead them, and you're going to follow Paul. Goodness knows, I've been watching him. He's been asleep most of the time, so I don't know if he knows what he's doing up here, but we're going to give it a shot. Okay, here we go. Hands in the air, then. Is there a St. John's ambulance person here? I just need to know. There's a man. Right.
Listen, sweetheart, tell me, do you love me true?
You see how easy it is to be a charismatic Christian?
And is he holding you the way I do? Here we go. Oh, love is blind. Make up your mind.
Stop a minute. Now, I can't... Paul, you're doing this, right? Paul is doing... Show it. And go to that side. Right, and a woman's going down and she says, I don't know, which side shall I go? Well, you've got one of two choices, madam. Okay? I don't want you to go forward or backwards. I just want you to go side. Okay? Your husband there, I hope it's your husband. It is your husband. Ah, it's not. Never mind, let's move on. Paul, you're up for it, mate. Only another couple of hours and we should be finished.
Listen, sweetheart, tell me, do you love me true? You're not doing it the right way, the wrong way. If he does it that way, you do it that way, and then you go the other way. How difficult can this be? Where are you from, sir?
Pulborough.
From where?
Pulborough.
Pulborough? Well, it explains everything, doesn't it? Now listen. You go to the left, that's it. You to follow him. It's a mirror, it's kind of that way. No. Okay, I'll tell you what. You come up here and do exactly the opposite of what... I mean, it would have been in the DVD had it not been for you. I don't want you to feel under any... Hands up, yeah. You see, the Surrey people had their hands in the air before anybody else. Best educated people in Britain.
Listen, sweetheart, tell me, do you
love me true? Or is he holding you the way I do? Oh, love is blind. Make up your mind. Oh, will you tell him? He'll have to go. No, I can't carry on.
Are you challenged in this way? No, explain it to me. Come on, explain it. Come on, explain it.
Well, when he went like that,
Yes, yes, yes,
I was sitting here and went like that.
yes. Okay.
So I'm facing him.
Yes.
Therefore, when he's going into his leg,
Yes.
I'm going to my leg.
Yes.
So I was the only one doing it right.
So you, in fact, he was the only person doing it right.
Has somebody protested their innocence? Of endless love, the Lord.
To unmute it.
We'll start that one again. So all
I
of that.
am so sorry.
Here we go. Sue,
I
you
am
can start
so
again.
sorry,
She's on her own
everyone.
tonight. I'll forgive her that one error.
Completely.
Off
I've
you
got
go.
a little sign here that tells me to fix the mute, and I forgot to do it. But thank you for telling me, everyone. Now, this song is for Jackie Lamb. Yes, I'm speaking to you, my dear. It is for you. It is your birthday. Your husband told us, so this song is just for you, and I'm sorry.
Written by Paul Field and Jonathan Veira, performed last night in Croydon with Paul Field at his 50th anniversary concert. So it goes like this. Across the changes through the years, eternal God, your love comes down to lead us on. So as we walk with you, our every step is holy ground. You are the God of endless love, the Lord of every time and place. You are the hope beyond our humanness. This is the promise of your grace. And we will seek to know you more, when every word of every prayer, and you will keep your timeless faithfulness. Through every breath you will be there. You are the God of endless love, the Lord of every time and place. You are the hope beyond our humanness. This is the promise of your grace. If doubts and fears come closing in, we lean on you when strength may fail. And Father God, you pour your Spirit down, the cloud will clear, the truth prevail. You are the God of endless love, the Lord of every time and place. You are the hope beyond our humanness. This is the promise of your grace. This is the hope for all the world. The nails that held God in our place. This is the love that brings forgiveness. This is the promise. This is the promise. This is the promise of His grace.
Very nice.
That's a nice song, isn't
Very
it?
nice. Everyone enjoyed
And
that very
the
much.
hope beyond our humanness. And I just want to say thank you to Paul Field, who has furnished me over many years an international singing songwriting sensation. He was telling us last night about, you know, the songs he wrote for Cliff, how many he wrote for Cliff over the years, and how the night that the National Lottery was launched, he had one of his songs, Cliff came and sung, and he sung a song about, it's not about the money you have. And it's something that Paul wrote for that occasion.
Oh, Paul Field.
Yeah, Paul Field.
He's just written.
Ah!
Thanks again, Maestro. Yeah,
Ah!
well done, Paul.
Well, it was just such a, it was a
Yeah,
lovely
lovely
thing to be with
songs.
you, mate. And
Beautiful lyrics.
a really thank you for these lyrics that pierce. And every time I'm going to sing "God of the Moon and Stars" towards the back end of this interview tonight. And thank you, Paul, for just standing up there with laryngitis, for goodness sake. And he did it, and but Dr. Theatre, as we used to call it, as soon as you started, you did it, and you sang an encore, for goodness sake. And you put Rock and Roll Out at the beginning, the song that I'd never heard of until the day before. That made me laugh. It was great fun, and a lot of people had a lot of fun there. I know a lot of people came up to me who were part of the community and said how grateful they were to go, not least of all Carol Wadsworth, who is out there, she's out there now, is that right?
She is, yes, she's
And
sent out
Carol,
a great evening.
find a way of sending the message to me about your phone number, please, so that we can do what we talked about, okay, last night. You know who I'm talking about. The Haywoods were there, and
Jerry was there?
Jerry was there. Oh, so you didn't bring the rose. You must go and get the rose in a minute. Because he sent you, remember,
I've got lots of yellow roses here.
Yes, I know. Well, you can go and get it in a minute. Anyway, that's it. So, that was Paul Field. Thank you, Paul, for all those things that you have blessed us with over the years. The songs that you've written on your own, of which have been so many, and the very few that we've written together, but have been lovely. Still You Speak, If Only We Will Listen. Another one. So, I just want to welcome back into the room a special guest. Don't drum roll first. Have you just done it? All right, I want to do a drum roll and everything. You know, ladies and gentlemen, all the way to the front, I want you to welcome
too late, I'm
the
sorry.
people who you've been waiting for so long. Here they are, Denise and Chris Arthys. Yay! Round of applause. People all over. Give your hands up, please. Loads of hearts.
Yes, lots
right?
of hearts. Lots
Because
of
what
hearts.
you failed to realise is when you came in last time, they all said, you are going to get them back on. You are going to get them back on, aren't you? Now, it's been about 9 months, a year. Well, how long since we've had you on? About a year, isn't it? Was it March? Right, so it's... Oh!
Dear, sorry.
Good evening. Yes.
Stop doing all this. Oh, come on.
No, all you're doing is playing the piano and
Yeah,
singing. I'm doing
that's
everything
right.
else.
And running the rest of it. So, anyway, Sue, if you can now be on the phones.
Yes.
I'm going to ask people right right at the beginning, Chris and Denise, to send in your questions. Sue's going to be monitoring your things now, because actually they won't necessarily be able to answer them, because I've been asking them questions for a long time. They haven't answered one of them yet, so who can tell? But we're here to just converse. There's no agenda. They've got things to talk about, things that they've been doing, and we want to share with them and tell their story a bit. And then I think that's it. It's a remarkable story that has gone all over the country now and all over the world. And it's a remarkable story of triumphing over, with the grace of God and the love of God in your lives, the terrible adversity that happened. Tell us between you a little, and remember, keep the microphone up so that the old people can hear.
Yeah, well,
What about Sue, of course?
I was going to say it was actually March of last year, and the name's Keith Arthys.
Keith, Keith to you.
No, Chris and Denise. Yeah. No, it's great to be back again, and we really loved being on the show last time. I think what was really special about that is that Sue had read the book, and you, Jonathan, you knew the gist of the story, but you didn't know all the details.
I did not.
So it was almost as if you were hearing the story for the first time on air, and that made a big impact for us as well. Yeah. So
it was a thrilling story, and that's often what I get. Sue, who's a speed reader, she can do a précis for me. And often, people would ask me to write recommendations for books and things like that, and they were great thick tomes, and I was away and I couldn't do it. Then she would summarise and give me the highlights, which was a great way of me doing stuff. But I was very excited to hear and stunned. I was a little bit kind of, I thought, well, I've got an interesting story, but this beats my story just in so many ways. Tell us a little bit what happened.
Yeah, it wasn't the story we were looking for. Probably best to start by talking about motorcycling. I was on a motorcycle on my 16th birthday. Always loved bikes, and one of my lifelong dreams was always to ride motorcycle road trips in the USA. And then in 2007, I got my chance when my employer offered me a 3-year work assignment based in Houston, Texas. So at the end of 2007, the two of us relocated from the Surrey Hills to the concrete and glass jungle of Houston, and a few months after we arrived, we were exploring our new surroundings on a motorcycle. And so we were traveling through southwest Texas.
And what was hold on, before you do that, what was, for those of us who are motorhead, petrol heads, what was the cycle?
How long have you got?
Well, go on, go.
No, it was
So have you got a picture?
I'm just grasping something.
It was Harley Davidson Road King with 96 cubic inch, 1600 cc V-twin.
1600?
Yeah.
V12?
Yeah. V-twin.
V-twin.
Two cylinder. Kevlar reinforced belt drive, 6 forward gears. Denise is saying, shut up about the bike.
For those petrol heads out there,
it was
like Carol Wadsworth. She's loving this.
Right. It was a 2008 FLHR Road King,
wow.
And it was just a beautiful touring machine. I say was. Yeah. So we were traveling towards the Mexico border and the Rio Grande, and the city of Corpus Christi was our destination. So it was 16th of May 2008, 2:30 in the afternoon, just after a break for lunch. We were on Highway 35.
Hence the name of the book.
Hence the name of the book, yeah.
Which you must buy, by the way, if you haven't got it.
Thank you,
Or get
Jonathan.
one, buy one for a friend, or buy two at least.
And they make great Christmas presents
They do,
as well. Really
even in June.
Birthday presents, Christmas presents.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, Highway 35 at that point, dead straight, dead flat, 2-laner. Remember, you're on the right-hand side of the road in the States, and there's 1 lane of traffic going in each direction. 70 mile an hour speed limit. Beautiful, clear blue sky, and we weren't in a hurry, so we were doing 55 miles an hour. A young driver in a big Ford truck overtook us. Now I'm looking at the back of a a big Ford truck, and he sees a red vehicle coming at him at high speed on the wrong side of the road. So he's thinking, is he going to get back in his own lane? No, he's not. So at the last moment, the truck driver drove off the road. Now I can see the red vehicle, which is coming at me at over 80 miles an hour.
With your speed at 55.
Yeah, so combined closing speed over 135 miles an hour. Things are happening at 60 meters a second, and he hit us head on. The next vehicle in line was another truck, driver on board with his wife. They saw this explosion of motorcycle parts, 2 bodies flying through the air like rag dolls. So he hit the brakes to slow down and stop for the accident. The red vehicle went back on the correct side of the road, but then came over again and hit the white truck, almost killed the driver, and seriously injured his wife. It turned out that the driver of the red vehicle was over 3 times the drink drive limit, the equivalent of over half a litre of whiskey at 2:30 in the afternoon on a weekday. And so the limit is the same as it is in the UK, 80 milligrams of alcohol per 100 millilitres of blood. So the limit is 80, he was at 250.
Goodness, yeah.
And 350 is the equivalent of a general anaesthetic in hospital. So he was very drunk. Now, at this point, I left planet Earth to go and live somewhere else for quite some time.
So over to you, Denise.
Yeah, we were both seriously injured, as you can imagine, so we were taken in his and hers helicopters to the nearest trauma hospital, which was at Corpus Christi. We both had severely crushed left legs. Mine had to be amputated straight away. We both had broken left arms and hands. My arm was what they call degloved because I lost a lot of skin. And we both, because we flew through the air, we landed on our heads, so we both had concussion. But Chris's was a lot worse than mine. And because poor Chris was at the front of the bike, he got the internal injuries. So he got punctured lung, broken ribs, ruptured spleen. So Chris was in intensive care for over 2 weeks, most of that time in a medically induced coma. I got out of intensive care in less than a week. But of course I came to in a hospital bed, and I'm now looking down at flat bedclothes where my left leg should be. And I've got, huge heavy plaster cast on my left arm, can't move, in a lot of pain. I know Chris is more severely injured, I just don't know how badly. And we often describe it to people, it's like a nightmare that you keep waking up to, not from.
Yes.
And anyway, our 3 youngsters, we've got 2 sons and a daughter, they flew out to be with us. And at the time, the eldest was 25, the next one was 22, and Miriam was just 18 and in her first year at university. Anyway, after 10 days, the leg was killing Chris. So the doctors came to Ben and to me, and they said, could you please sign for his amputation? And so Ben and I signed. That night, you can imagine, I just lay there. I couldn't sleep. I was just thinking, is he going to make it through an operation? I mean, he's very weak. And if he does make it, will he agree with the decision that we've now taken for him? But the amputation marked the start of his recovery. And
so his body started to turn the tide.
Yes, because the white blood
was
cell
it
count.
gangrenous and
It was gangrenous, and it was definitely the best decision because
But incredible. If I talk to you. I might just say this is incredibly funny that you say you were nervous. You are brilliant. They are, and it's so funny, isn't it? You're such a shining example of woman at her absolute best in this stressful situation. You come out and I don't know whether, in all honesty, making that kind of decision for your spouse, what went through your mind at that time?
Well, it's not quite as stark as it seemed because, obviously the leg was killing him. As you say, gangrenous, and I spoke to the doctor. The 3 youngsters had long conversations with the doctors, and they were adamant. They said, it's much better, Mum, if he loses the leg. Yeah. And the doctor said, I can't make the decision for you. You've got to make the decision. But, it's going to mean an awful lot of operations, he may never walk properly, and in due course he may have to have an amputation anyway.
Yes.
So I actually said to him, well, if you take his leg away, if you give him a blade, he will run a marathon again.
That was prophetic, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, as
Oh,
it
my
turns
goodness.
out. Yes. Anyway, so we stayed in that hospital for a month, and then we got moved to the rehabilitation hospital, which I think last time we told you about the horrendous hospital, the trip in the ambulance that broke down, but we won't go into that. Anyway, then in the rehabilitation hospital, we did lots and lots of therapy.
Yes.
And but at 2.5 months, we were home again after the crash. So we now both...
So medevaced back. Was it medevaced? Is that
No, we were in Houston for the rehabilitation hospital.
Yeah, the medevac is the medical evacuation from the crash site to the trauma hospital.
But you don't get you just go back do you go back in a special craft, or is it on a scheduled airline? What happens? I don't even know.
A car.
No, going back home.
Back home.
I thought you meant back.
Oh, sorry, in Houston.
Houston.
Yes,
Right,
sorry,
right.
in Houston.
Sorry.
I didn't make that clear.
My bad.
No, so we both came back, in separate cars back home. Obviously on our own, with a wheelchair, trying to cope, really. Anyway, we did lots and lots of therapy still as outpatients. And 4-month mark, really exciting. We got our first prosthetic legs. But then you can't keep them on very long, and you have to, it takes a long time to learn to walk. In fact, I walked like a toddler. I had my arms up in case I was going to fall over. It was quite funny, really.
Yes. Because it must have felt very odd, just overbalancing.
The balance, yes. So Chris has got good balance, but my core balance was pretty poor.
Is that right?
Yeah.
What's that due to? What's that due to then?
I think I'm probably a bit more gung-ho than Denise, but also Denise lost a bit more leg. So has a shorter stump, and that makes life much more difficult. I think you do marvellously.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think you do marvellously. I'd never have known. You talked today about there being different sensations again, that you get lots of ghost kind of
Phantom pain. Yes, I've had that right from the beginning. It's always worse than Chris's. I mean, probably because it was a traumatic sort of amputation in the crash rather than, Chris's, which was obviously a surgical amputation. Yes, I mean, most of the time it's like I can feel the whole leg and it's fizzing like pins and needles the whole time.
You can feel it?
Yeah, the whole time. I can feel the toes, the foot, the leg.
Isn't that incredible? I mean, what do they say that is that a neurological kind of phenomenon? What is that?
I think it's just the nerves need to do something, so they start sending signals.
Right. Okay. I'm fascinated by the whole kind of physiology of it.
Yeah. The nerves that run from the foot up, they're like over a metre long because they come all the way up from the foot to the spine, and if you cut them off halfway. That long nerve cell is still sending signals up to the spine and the brain doesn't know that the signals are coming from a part of the body that isn't there. They're just being fed by the nerve. So if that nerve is aggravated and is finding work to do, then you can get phantom pain. So we think, having spoken to other amputees, that because mine was a surgical amputation, a clean cut, the nerve is not causing so much trouble. But because Denise's nerve end was ruptured and torn in the accident, it's still sending the signals.
It is heavy stuff, isn't it? I mean, don't you find it, Sue, when you...
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's extraordinary to have you here and to have you talking about this, but it just crosses my mind, does the pain just not get in the way all the time? That, you're sleeping, you're not sleeping, you're struggling, you've got the pain that you're registering all the time.
Yeah, during the day it's fine. You just ignore it. You just usually when you're walking, it just goes, it's subdued. But it's yes, it's worse at night. I mean, the worst one is just if you get shooting pain.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, I think I mentioned before when we were here that my grandfather was also an amputee.
Yes, you did.
Now, he used to get phantom itch. Now, I'm so grateful that I don't get that.
Oh, not to be able to scratch that.
I don't
What
get
would you
that.
do with it?
I don't know
I
what
suppose
he
you
did.
put some cream on what there isn't. I don't know what to say. Put some Urax on there. Goodness. Now, you see, I identify with the shooting pains because of my neuropathy. I get severe neuropathy in both feet, and so I've got this constant like that, like electrical impulses that shoot through my feet at different times. Sue will suddenly go, she'll hear me cry out, and it'll be like that, and it can go for a whole day when I'm just lying there. And it starts and just goes like that. So to have it continually. You are a quite extraordinary woman to be smiling as much as you do. I saw you recently in the choir, because you're in the choir of which I am president, Godalming Choral Society, and we were singing. Quando te rimovendi sunt et terra dum veneris judicare seculum perinia. I should have got the music, I've forgotten it. But we were doing 4/8 Requiem, and it was just lovely to have. And you were singing in it as well. He was singing. He had a dicky bow on, ladies and gentlemen, and he was standing at the back. And are you going to carry on singing then, Chris?
Well, I really wanted to sing the 4/8 Requiem, which is why I joined the choir for that term. We'll see if I do another one.
Yeah, another one. Well, we'll see. I'll try and get you back in. We need you, Chris. We need young, and I mean that relatively. Okay.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Yes, do.
But I do have a lot of other things going on at the moment.
I
Yes,
know.
you do.
Now
Yes,
you
you
do.
do.
Now you. Sorry, you're going to ask
I was
something.
going to say, so basically, I mean, this story in itself is moving, it's challenging, but you're finding actually that it's taking you to places that you just would never have predicted when you went out to America in the first place. So what has happened since you've had the accident?
Well, life is good. I mean, originally, when the accident happened, obviously it was horrible. We were horrified, and what will become of us now? But with the aid of the support we had from so many people, medical support, prosthetics, we've managed to rebuild our lives. So we finished out the US assignment. We were there for nearly 5 years altogether.
So you stayed?
We stayed in America, yeah.
See, I thought you came. I'm sorry, I thought you. So with all of that, you carried on working?
Yeah, I got back to work about 3 or 4 months. Well, it must have been 4 months because
4 months?
They wouldn't let me back into work until I could walk safely on a prosthetic leg with a walking stick. And even after a year, I wasn't working full time, and I was still a bit shaky. But they stuck with me, and then after another 4 years, they gave me this leadership position in the Middle East. So the last 3 years of my career, we were in the Middle East. Yeah.
Where did you go?
Doha, where the World Cup was.
Oh my
Qatar.
goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
what was their attitude towards amputees in Doha?
they
You understand what I mean?
Yeah, you didn't see many disabled people in Qatar. I don't know if it's because there weren't many or whether they kept them hidden away, but it wasn't like America where you quite often see military veterans with prosthetic legs and people in wheelchairs. In the Middle East, they were far less visible. And then at the end of 2015, I was able to take early retirement at the age of 60, and we came home.
Did you want to?
It was. Wait, do you want to describe that? Because we both. I was loving the work, working in project management, running a team, working all the hours. It was just huge fun. But I just felt that, hang on, it's actually time to stop now.
Yeah.
And you felt the same.
Well, we got 2 children married by that stage, and grandchildren. So we thought I didn't want to be the other. We saw other expats, and it was like visiting, jumping on a plane and visiting for a few weeks, and then they had to wait almost another 6 months before they could do it again. And so I said no. I think we've been away 8 years is long enough. And,
especially. Did the children? I'm just shooting off from the hip here. How did the children, having gone through this trauma with you over there, having to help make that decision with you, how did they feel about you staying? Did they feel that they wanted you to come back, or was that not even on the cards? Did they want Mummy and Daddy back home, basically?
They never expressed that they wanted us home. But we felt that after what we put them through and being around the other side of the world for 8 years, we just felt that we'd been away long enough. So we wanted to come back. And they all live within about 20 minutes of us now. So we see each of them pretty much every week. And it's just lovely. And we hope they think the same about us.
Yes,
but it's just nice to be... Yeah, please do. Yeah, they won't tell us.
That's very. But for you, when you were in America, and then in Doha, were you working yourself? Were you teaching? Because that was your profession?
No, I didn't teach. But I went into school. I went in as a volunteer.
Right.
So.
Did you not have a green card?
No, I would have had to have done retraining, certainly for America.
Okay.
And we decided as well that would just tie me to terms. And, the whole point of being like expats like that is we could, we're going to go back home.
Yes.
Anytime.
Yes.
So I actually started volunteering. I mean, the crash was in the May. I think January I went back into school in America and, started volunteering and reading to the children and doing lots of the craft stuff because they tend to do much more structured craft, so they need it all cut out. So I would do that. And then read to the children after lunch. Great. And then in Qatar, I went straight to the British school. And they...
did the same thing?
No, I actually worked in the library, which was fun. And then I teamed up with another girl who was at church, and I went into her classroom to hear readers, which was funny, really, because, the sort of the Oxford Reading Tree scheme didn't really work in Qatar because there was things like snow and that didn't quite translate. So you spent a lot of your time trying to explain to them, this is what it means.
Yeah, that's a nice. It's a big culture change, isn't it? It's a big culture change from America to Qatar. It must have been. Were you living in an expat community, or was it?
Yes, we're on a compound.
On the compound.
Yes, and actually, we'd got to know the American culture, and there were a lot of Americans on the compound.
Right.
So there weren't many Brits, but it was really easy because we'd got to know the American culture. I love both places. It was fantastic. Really,
it's a great opportunity, isn't it, living abroad? So you lived abroad, didn't you? You lived in.
Yes, I went to live in Germany with my parents. My dad was in the Ministry of Defence, so we were over there for 3 years. So I was very much part of a community.
Do you value that now?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the experiences I had between the ages of 9 and 12 were extraordinary.
Yeah. You travelled around Europe.
Yeah, I travelled around Europe, and my dad had some work to do in Berlin, so that was it. We went to Berlin for a week, and I saw up close and personal the East Berlin,
Checkpoint Charlie,
all the museums. which was very formative, actually, very formative.
Yeah, you do speak about it.
Yeah.
And you were thinking only about your dad died 17
Yes, it was
years
the anniversary. 19
19.
19 years ago yesterday.
So you had a bit of a sad day yesterday,
yeah, a bit of a
didn't
sad
you?
day yesterday.
But we
happens.
thought of all that he brought,
Yeah.
actually, to
Yeah.
the party. And one of the things he taught was international travel. That he taught Sue to like it. We taught our children to like it. You know, they came with me all around the world, actually. Notably New Zealand, which they loved, and then all of them went back there to stay in the woman's house that next to where I'd stayed. So it was a fantastic time. So, but with moving across and back here, was there a culture shock for you then when you came back here? Was it settling straight back into a British way of life, but without people knowing you as amputees, if you see what I mean? So the rest of the family, people that you didn't know, or knew that you knew through church, I don't know. Was it any shock for you then?
Well, I think retirement is a huge change, however you do it. Yeah. For me particularly, it was. I knew it was going to be hard because I was working all the hours, loving my work, and there was no opportunity to phase down and do like 3 days a week, 2 days a week. So one day I was finishing my handover, and then we caught a plane home. And the next day, there was the two of us sitting in our cottage, which we rented it out. The tenants had left.
Lovely cottages too.
Yeah, but when we got back, of course, there was no furniture. The heating had been off. It was the middle of winter.
What have we done?
So Lord, what have we done? And that was a big shock. But I had a project. The first project was having a go at Kilimanjaro, which was.
Would you say you're a driven man? I'm only asking for a friend. Okay, Kilimanjaro. Did you use? You did, but it's not quite oxygen, but it's on the verge of it, pretty much.
Yeah, it's nearly 6,000 meters, highest point.
Did
in
you use
Africa.
oxygen?
No. Well, we used the oxygen. We used the oxygen that was available in the air,
but not in spare tanks.
Yeah. No. So that sort of helped me over the initial hurdle of retirement, and after that I just had to lie down for a while, and the feeling soon passed, and I got used to. And by then we were doing I was doing quite a lot of athletics, and we were doing quite a lot of speaking about our experiences, and we rebuilt our lives. You went back to school.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we're so grateful for is that we weren't sent straight back from America, as amputees. We had that long period, 5 years in America and then 3. So by the time we came back, the family were, knew all about us and our capabilities, and the church, everybody that we knew we were.
That you, yes.
And we were so much more capable. I mean, at the beginning, we were thinking, will we be able to live in a 100-year-old cottage? Will we be able to work, almost half an acre of garden, bedrooms upstairs? Will we be able to cope?
Yeah.
Well, by the time we came home, it was very straightforward. It was.
And so your capabilities, as they grew, your confidence grew, and your ability to do nearly everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I noticed, it's not. What was interesting was that I said, "Come out to the garden," and I suddenly realised, actually, you've got 2 steps, and the steps that you have to be aware of in balance terms. Am I right? So, I mean, that still continues. Are there sometimes restrictions? I want to get onto other stuff now, but are there sometimes restrictions on what you can do, what you can't do?
Yeah, some slopes. If the slope is too steep, then you have to sort of ride. Well, you can do it, but you have to ride the leg. You can't just sort of walk down it. We're usually all right with steps, aren't we? But
I think we have to be more careful. Things take longer, and Denise is not keen on me doing work up ladders anymore.
What a shock.
But
really, I can't understand why.
Can I just say I'm not keen on Jonathan going up a ladder
well,
at
no,
all.
that's
Ever.
right.
Let
Yeah,
alone doing anything
even when I
else,
was
and
well.
He's got both legs.
Yeah. So, most things, given time, we can.
Which
we can
must
do.
frustrate you.
Oh yeah. I love DIY. And
So do I just love it. I do. It's one of my faves. I can't wait to just get out of this room to start banging nails into things.
In Jonathan's
and
case, it's
sawing.
not do it yourself, it's destroy it yourself. So
Yeah, I hate people like you. You do know that, don't you, Chris?
Yeah, but
when
I
you
don't-
say, "Oh no," what you do is you just do this. I love all people who go, "You just do that." Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it sort of it bugs me having to pay people to do things that I know I could do
Easily
myself.
do,
But it's a cross I have to bear.
Yes. And Denise you'll be in trouble with her anyway if you.
Yes,
do
absolutely.
stupid things, yeah.
No, it's just there are obviously some limitations. You can't squat with a prosthetic leg, which makes it quite difficult when I'm in school. If I want to get down to
Yes, yeah.
a child's level.
Because they
you know.
always want you to come down the carpet.
Well,
don't they?
I just don't want to be sort of towering over them. And in the playground, of course, I can't get there fast enough. We did try on Monday, with that dreadful rain.
Yes.
We did try puddle jumping with our
What you did?
with
You
the
decided that was a
grandchildren.
good idea, did you? Right.
No, they
whose idea was
decided.
that then?
That was Ben Charlotte's
Yes, of course
idea
it was,
for the
yeah.
children, And would you like to come? So yes, we came. And it's so funny because I think Charlotte turned to me and said, "Well, can you jump?" And so we had to go, and it was sort of like a hop on one leg, but the other leg did land, and I didn't fall over. So I was quite
That's
pleased.
interesting, isn't it? So this could be the new thing for you. Puddle jumping.
I don't think so.
Yeah, can I recommend you don't make that a national sport yet? Okay?
It's a Paralympic sport.
Paralympic sport, puddle jumping. Now look, I'm going to just sing a song. What's quite interesting is when we start our lives, I'm going to Paul's probably gone up to bed now, but is he still on? But I'm going to sing. Can you do it for me? Okay. Okay. All right. Well, this song was written 50 years ago. Now, as Paul reminded me, and actually, what's interesting is that you talked about, you went there, you went to America to further your career, to enjoy a bit of the States. Your plans did not include anything like that. And he says, "My heart's an empty stage. Oh, let your play begin. My life's an empty page for you to colour in your love." And it's this thing about that life comes in and you start colouring in purple. I see my granddaughter colouring, and she starts a completely unpredictable colour when she's colouring in. She colours the colours she wants to colour in. And actually the unpredictable nature of it is what makes it, in the end, rich. I don't wish I'd had a kidney transplant and viral encephalitis. I don't wish any of those things, but I'm thankful for the opportunities to be able to talk to people and share with people who've lost a lot more than I've lost. And I'm going to, this song, just have a go at this. Here we go. It's called Empty Page. I recorded this back in 2003 with Paul on the album Rhythms of the Heart, I think, so remember. I'm nothing without you. I'm not ashamed to say. Sometimes still I doubt you along my way. I'm nothing without you, an eagle with no wings. If I forget about you, I lose everything. My heart's an empty stage. Oh, let your play begin. All my life's an empty page for you
to color in your love. It's such a common feeling to be misunderstood, but from you there's no concealing. You know my bad and good. So I'm not pretending that my story never fails, but I've already read the ending, and your love prevails. Oh, my heart's an empty stage. Oh, let your play begin. Oh, let your play begin. Oh, my life's an empty page for you to color in your when I think of all the time I've wasted, the high ideals, the crazy dreams. If only every man could taste this wine I've tasted, we'd begin to learn what freedom really means. I'm nothing without you. I'm not ashamed to say, oh, sometimes still I doubt you along my way. I'm nothing without you, an eagle with no wings. If I forget about you, I'll lose everything. Oh, my heart's an empty stage. Oh, let your play begin. Oh, let your play begin. Oh, my life's an empty page for you to color in your love. I'm nothing without you. And you've certainly been having your page coloured in over these years, haven't you? My goodness. It's, when you look back on your lives, do you wish it all didn't happen? Being honest.
It's a good question. I mean, you can't run parallel scenarios. I mean, what would we be doing if we were at this age now, if the accident hadn't happened? and we just don't know. The only thing that we know is what we've experienced, and it's been a series of miracles, and life is good, and that's all really we can talk about. We don't know what the alternative would have looked like.
Denise?
It's interesting because the pastor said to us when we had a really bad day, and he said, you know, there'll come a day when you won't want your legs back. Now, he said, I don't know why I've said that, and I don't know that we're quite there yet, because I think I'd still like to be able to run with the grandchildren and things like that. But I don't know, I mean, yes, we would have made a good go at retirement, but it's given us so many opportunities. I mean, working with a prosthetics company, testing knees, I mean, you know.
Goodness.
I mean, how many people do that? And, you know,
Nobody I know, Denise. I want you to know that nobody I know works with prosthetics, okay?
Right, well, there's two
You
of
are
us.
the two of you. That's it. You are in company of two people. There you are.
But, you know, we've been to fairs, we've been to Japan with them, we've been to Norway, we've been to Germany with them, you know, I mean, that's fantastic. Just doing this speaking and writing a book, I don't think we would have written a book. I really don't. And I don't think we would be speaking together like we do, you know, and going around and talking to people. So, I mean, life is, I think it's probably richer, personally. I think sometimes when you go through something like this, you discover things about yourself and each other.
But did you ask God why? Did you see that song? It said, but sometimes I doubt you along my way. You know, that was Paul's story, and I think that's definitely mine. You know, do you sometimes go, well, what was all that about then?
I don't, but...
I like that. Here's the woman of faith, and now I hand you over to my husband. Right, no.
Yeah, I'm the troublemaker.
Yeah.
No, I think we said last time that I had some serious questions because the accident struck at the heart of my identity. Well, maybe we didn't talk about this last
no, you
time.
didn't.
Explain
Talk
what you mean by
about that.
Chris.
Yeah,
Explain what you mean.
I mean, when I was compos mentis enough to realise that I was an amputee, my self-image as an athlete was destroyed because I was a marathon runner before the accident, and a lot of my self-esteem came from my athletics, and so that was the end of that. And also I always used to think of myself as being a bit adventurous but very competent and careful. And I'd had this catastrophic motorcycle accident with my wife on the pillion, and we both ended up disabled. My wife severely maimed, and regardless of whose fault the accident was, you know, it had happened because I was keen on motorcycling. So this self-image as a adventurous but competent person had been trashed. And also at work, I was working with some phenomenal engineers and managers, and I used to think I was sort of holding my own with them. And yet, after the accident, when I came round, I couldn't read a clock, I couldn't use a phone, I couldn't do children's puzzles, I could barely feed myself. So all of those three aspects of who I thought I was and where my value came from had been taken away. And I think what really helped me to turn the corner was telling myself that my value doesn't come from what I can achieve, but it comes from who I am. And even if you take all those things away, I'm still a child of God, I'm still made in his image, I'm known, I'm loved, I'm important, and focusing on that rather than the things that maybe I couldn't achieve anymore was a big turning point for me. But it's something I still have to remind myself of today. Yeah.
Identity is one of these things that, if I'm ever interviewed, I know John Bound wants to do, is one that I struggle with absolutely. When your identity is removed, if you're not Jonathan Veira, the international opera singer, who are you suddenly? You're just Jonathan Veira who lived at 4 Lincoln Road. If you're not recognised when you go in a room, what's gone on? What's happened? And that I struggled with it. I mean, absolutely. And I don't know whether it's as much for a woman as it for a man. I have no idea whether it's gender-based. But certainly, men who were successful in their businesses, in what we did, we find it very difficult to let go of that and to find. And what could you just say that epithet one more time? Your
value doesn't come from what you can achieve. It comes from who you are.
And that is if you take nothing else away tonight, take away that, and because I think there are people who need to hear that.
There's an awful lot of people, some of whom are struggling within the community with ill health, and so therefore they cannot do what they were trained to do, or they cannot do it for very long. There are people who've retired and suddenly their life is very different. You know, if you've been a minister of a church for a number of years and suddenly you lose your church, you lose your community, you lose your home, that's a big change of identity, and so it is with a lot of people within the community. So I think that's
really helps them.
Actually, it's nice.
I wanted two things. One, but what you've been doing, you've been up to Scotland. You've been on so many preaching engagements or speaking engagements. You've been in secular places. You've been in sacred places. You've been on the borders where you've got a foot in everything. That's what I like. I like the foot in everything. Sharing your story with integrity and truth and telling the truth. You see, I think if you want me to be honest, the strength of your story is that. It's that truth. It's the vulnerability within that. It's not, and God made me better, and here I am today, living in the victory. And because you smell that, and you think, doesn't smell right. There's something not right. It's not authentic. What you're saying to me is something that rings a bell. I'm subscribed to that. I'm ringing that bell because it means something. It has honesty and integrity at the heart of it. But tell us, you've moved from, you're going all around the country, but the one thing I want to talk to you about is one thing that has become quite a passion of yours, which is the prison work, which was a passion of ours as well. We were associated for a long time with Prison Fellowship as well, with Peter Holloway, and he came in here to speak a number of times. So tell us what you've been doing in prisons and how you're I'm going to use the term ministry for people who don't understand what that means. It's a service to others. What have you been doing in prisons? And then I have some questions from people. Have you got any questions, Sue? One, all right.
Yeah, we help Prison Fellowship with restorative justice courses that they run in prisons. The course is called Sycamore Tree, and it's a 6-week course, and in week 3 we go in as examples of victims. And the reason they invited victims in is to bring home to those in prison that all crimes have victims, and not just the victim, but negative ripples out into society. And the idea is that by the end of the course, that those who've been on the course will have really grasped that and made the decision that they will in future cause positive ripples in society. So we go in week 3, and basically we start our talk by saying, you know, we're Chris and Denise, we're in our late 60s, and our left legs finish here because we're both victims of a crime. We're victims of intoxication assault. And at that point, we sort of got their attention. And then we tell our story. And then in week 6, we go back to witness the course attendees who are invited to make their own symbolic act of restitution, which might be writing a letter to their victim or writing a letter to their families. We've had a number of examples. We've had song, we've had rap, we've had craft work has been made for us, and we've been quite moved by the responses that the attendees make.
It's quite the most emotional thing. That's the most emotional. We used to visit prisons all the time, and I wasn't emotional at all. I just thought, we go in and we talk to them. But this was heartfelt. mean, I think there was, unless they were very, very, very good actors, but most of them aren't.
No, it's a real. Well, particularly the men's prisons was a surprise to me, because I was expecting male prisoners to be basically hard nuts.
Yeah.
And what you find is that they're human beings just like us, and a lot of them are really reachable, and through the course they really do want to turn a corner and make a difference. And some of the things that we see in that week 6, there was one prison we went in, and one of the attendees had written a letter to his victim, but when it came to it, he couldn't read it out. It was too much for him. And one of his mates on the course said, "Don't worry, I'll read it. You come up here. I'll read it for you, and we'll do this together." And they stood with their arms around each other, and the mate read this, what turned out to be an extremely moving letter. I lost it. I mean, it was just.
You're sitting at the back, aren't you?
Yeah.
You think,
Yeah.
I couldn't hold it together.
No.
It's so moving.
And
it's genuine. What possible motive have they got to say anything that's not true like that?
Yeah. I said they're real people.
Yeah.
That's stunning.
And I think for me, it was just so gutsy. I mean, it's, and we explained, for us to stand in front of you and go through the, okay, that's difficult. We're a bit nervous because we don't know how you're going to react, and you don't know how we're going to react. But to stand up there and make yourself vulnerable amongst your cohort in prison, I think, probably especially in a male prison, is incredible.
It is, because of what might happen afterwards.
And it's just so moving.
I mean, you were without, obviously, you've got that as an example, and I've said to you, obviously, we can't talk about specific things, but people that you have reached as you've reached out. Sorry, that you've reached out. I was just holding my microphone. I got all a bit relaxed. Sorry about that. People that you have reached, that you've been, when you get back to the car, that moment when and we always find this, we get back to the car after an event, and mine was last week, was speaking to a number of people when I challenged them about what the two of us called Not Dead Yet, and I said, "Nor are you. And actually, what's left for you to do? What is God calling you to? Now, you're not dead yet. Don't lie down and take it. Come on, we can do something." And I spoke to a couple of people who I won't mention on here, but it was so moving. I got back in the car, and it was that where you sit down in the car and you go, "My goodness, that is fantastic. Wasn't that a God moment?" Can you think of things like that happened?
Oh, Chris can.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, we get. I'll get you a mic each
You
next
first,
time.
Chris, and then
I was going to refer to something that we said in answer to a question in the prison, and basically we have to be very careful in prisons, because obviously we're okay. We're articulate.
Yeah.
We probably haven't got any financial worries, so it's easy for prisoners to look at us and say, "Well, it's all right for them," and we basically said it was not in our life plan to be severely disabled in our late 60s. This was not expected.
No. Gardening centres, that was your future, wasn't it? It was not to be here with you lot.
And we said, well, you're probably looking at yourself now thinking, at my age, I wasn't expecting to be in this prison. So, life throws things at you, which there are bumps in the road. Is it a bit like your last song? You don't know exactly what's going to happen. No. The important thing is not what has happened, but what happens next.
Absolutely.
And in our case, we are doing our best to make the most of the miracles that have happened and what we have still got. How about you? And
same thing, isn't it?
That connects with
that
them.
connects. That does actually challenges.
What were
It's
you
your
going
turn
to
now.
say?
What were you going to say, Denise?
Well, I was going to say that obviously as part of our talk, we talk about the fact that we forgave the drunk driver.
Yeah, which
And that has a huge impact in
like
prison.
It's the biggest thing, because revenge is in every movie, isn't it? It's in every television you play. It's what you feel. It's what that kind of, yeah, go on, get. Well, can't wait till he gets his.
Get even.
Yeah, get even, because that's it. So this is the Christian way. Suddenly, they've never seen this before.
No, and we explained how, we forgave him. He was very remorseful. We visited him in prison. We had lunch with him and his wife before we left America. He wrote us a lovely email. Well, we kept exchanging emails probably every 6 months. He wrote us a lovely email, thanking us for our kindness and our support, because he said it helped him cope emotionally, over the years, his 10 years probation. And then in 2022, when we went back to Texas, we again had lunch with him and his wife. And it was just amazing. I mean, he is so well, and it was, he's obviously through the sentence, and it was just a lovely meal. And then right at the end, he said, well, next time you're in Texas, please come and stay with us. And you just think the remarkable power of forgiveness. I mean,
It's just almost, yeah.
it freed us up to get on with our recovery,
Yeah,
which was
yeah,
really important. We didn't
yeah.
get bitter. And it helped the family, because as the kids said, you didn't change. You stayed the same,
Yeah.
which is really important.
Yeah.
But it freed him up as well. And I was going to say,
Steady on there.
in one of the prisons, which we weren't expecting, one of the guys had written us a letter, personal letter, and in it he said, you've made me really think about forgiveness. And I was always thinking, well, they desperately need forgiveness for themselves, probably, because, there may be a lot of guilt, shame, or whatever. But no, he said, I need to start thinking about the people I need to forgive. And that was huge.
Massive, isn't it? It's that is beyond anything you would have possibly imagined.
No, and I just sort of, oh my goodness, you just.
It's so funny, isn't it? When you couldn't have imagined yourself. Sorry, you were going to say. Say.
Yeah, a bit earlier you said it's the Christian way, and I wanted to say, yeah, it is the Christian way, and we know the Lord's Prayer, forgive us our sins as we forgive those that sin against us. But I wasn't sure initially that it was my way.
No, I can't imagine that.
And the forgiveness that we were able to give, it was like a gift we received, and we were surprised that there was no bitterness. So please don't put us on a pedestal and say they're good Christians, it's the Christian way. We looked for bitterness and there was none there. And gosh, it's made such a difference. And still
and
today.
You put that down, okay. What do you put that down to? God's grace? We call that grace in the Christian terms. What do you put it down to?
Well, it's just a gift God gave us. And we needed that because we had, as Denise said, we had a lot to cope with
and to move on towards.
Yeah. And it's helped us.
And I think, as we explained, it's almost quite selfish, because, if you do forgive and properly forgive, it just frees you up. And I think that's what spoke to this person, that, it would actually restore things to. He wasn't at peace, obviously, until he did forgive whoever it was. I don't know, but it would actually help him. Whereas if you hang on to it, it's just festers.
Well, it's what R.T. Kendall says in his book on forgiveness, isn't it? It's exactly that. That it's that thing where you have. It's not just for them; it's for you, so that you can. God says forgive, and you say, "Well, what about?" You do the what about? I did lots of whataboutisms. And I'll tell you this, I don't know whether you even knew this, but I was at Spring Harvest. Maybe I've told you this story, but I was finished singing at the Big Top. It was King of Kings or something like that, and I was going out to go to the next one, across to Minehead. Or was it Minehead, and was going over to Skegness. And I'd done it for years and years and years, and then I was walking out the door, and Roger Forster, the great preacher, and we'd worked together a lot over the years, and he just saw me coming towards him, and he just saw me and he went, "You must forgive." I said, "Sorry?" He said, you must forgive. And I said, but what if they don't want forgiveness? What if they don't say sorry? And he just went, you must forgive. That's got nothing to do with it. And that was the beginning of a path. It was the beginning of a path towards forgiveness. But it was that moment that it's one of those rare moments, audible, that kind of, God speaking, going, Badoo, you must forgive. And so the power of it is quite remarkable. Sue, can you ask the question that you've got, please?
Yes, John Bound very early on asked, what has surprised you most in people's reaction to your story?
Look, she's handed it to you because she needs thinking time.
I think one of the things that surprised us is the relevance that our story seems to have to so many different people. Okay, we're physically disabled and it's obvious, but in a way we're all disabled. I'm sure there are people watching and listening now, and some of them will have medical conditions, physical or mental. Some people will be struggling with relationships or with money or bereavement or addictions. So all of those things, if you like, are disabilities. And it seems that the things that we talk about, forgiveness, support structure, being careful about our identity, a number of things that we talk about with regard to what happened to us seems to resonate with so many different people, and they find it helpful. And I don't think we were expecting that.
I think that the other thing that really surprised us is so many people afterwards in various parts of the world have come over and said, what an amazing marriage you have. I mean, that's not what we're talking about, but, and that's what our publisher actually was very keen to get. That's why she wanted both of us to write our own perspectives, because she said there's a richness there and you're very different, but you obviously bond well as a team, and it would be good to get that over. And we have been astonished. I mean, in prisons, wherever we've gone, people have come up and said, some of the women have said, I just want that relationship that you've got, and vice versa. And that is a surprise, because that's not really what we're talking about at all.
No, but it's a kind of a byproduct of what's going on. And people look at the whole thing. It's a very interesting thing, actually, that the marriage thing. That when Sue gave her kidney to me, there was it was that gets the applause. They go, because I can see, as you look out, I said, and Sue gave me a kidney. And there are about 8 couples, and the wife leans across and goes, I'm not doing it for you. So...
Nope.
Yeah, that's right. So, don't even think about it. It's one of those. But actually, it does speak volumes. And it's surprising what does speak, and it's not up to you in a way. Your story is this, and you tell your story. But what comes through, the story is another narrative that sometimes you don't control. And I think that's what it's occurred to me, that over the time, we might have the story, but we don't control the narrative. And I think that what people take from it is quite extraordinary. And from you too, you remain my heroes, because I think you are extraordinary together.
Can I just say, I can tell that makes you feel
uncomfortable.
Really uncomfortable.
As we do, yeah. We don't like it when people say the same thing.
Because actually,
but it helps us.
This happened to you, and you went through the experience, and you dealt with what the cards that you had at that point, and you have developed, and you have changed, and you have grown, and it's been an extraordinary story. But you don't obviously feel that you were heroic in doing this. You were just doing it as best you could, one step at a time.
But that also, I mean, that's one aspect. But it's also the fact that you now rejoice in the fact that you do it together. And you're loving this. When we go out and do a show, we go around we're off to Scotland, it is on Thursday, and we're off. I can't, I'm busting to get up there to do the show. So, all right, it's great to be back. It is indeed. And I can't wait to just cross the border on the A74 and then start talking to people and find people that I haven't met before and that talk to me and challenge them and say, I'm challenging you and challenge myself. These are exciting times. You could have just been going. You could have just gone to Godalming coffee shops, and you think how boring your lives would have been had it been.
Instead, you're going into prisons all around the country.
All around the country. Who would have put you? Would you ever? Two middle-class, successful people. You've done your thing. You wouldn't be visiting a prison by choice, even though we've been invited to do it. Very few do. It's not a sexy ministry. It's not. It's not actually. As we found out, not many people want to know about it in churches. They don't. It's not the ministry they're rushing to do. When I was in prison, did you visit me? And that's what you're doing. But you're taking your story, and I think you're doing a world of good and making a world of difference and bringing people to a knowledge of who they are and possibly, who knows, to salvation. There is a God is touching their lives. What you sow that seed and you go away, and then they often go away. They serve the sentence out or whatever they do. But you're making impacts on those people. Sue, can you do the notices?
No, darling, I don't think I can. You've got 8 minutes to go.
Well, can you tell the people where we're going, please?
No, I'll
and
do
also,
that.
can we do an advert for the book? Have we got the Arthys?
I haven't got the Arthys
We
book.
haven't got the slides.
If you want to know more about the Arthys book, look at the screen at the bottom. It says www.chrisarthy.co.uk, and this is the lovely book that we're talking about.
Fantastic book. We will how much are they?
If you go on Amazon, they're $15.99.
$59. Can they buy them from you? No.
It's probably quickest to
To
go
buy- okay.
to Amazon or the publisher.
Okay, all right. So $15.99, £16, and actually
Well worth it,
Well
I can
worth it.
tell
And
you.
I say buy two at the same time.
It's,
Get one to read
It's an
and one to give away.
Extraordinary book.
And it really is actually from all accounts. Sue's read it. I've read it, but Sue's told me everything about it. And now I've told you. Now I've found out everything.
Thank
so-
you so much, both of you. You've been extraordinary again, and just
Comments have
giving
been-
so much. Yeah, people have just been so blown away by the story, by your attitude, by your wise words, and the service that you're finding that you have got now is an extraordinary one, and not one that you asked for or chose, but you've picked it up willingly
And run
just
with it.
gone with it. So.
And run. In the opposite word. With
Run,
you.
absolutely.
Tell them about where we're going, Sue, please.
Yes, so Rachel's in, so she's just going to find things for me. So our wonderful Not Dead Yet tour goes up to Scotland. So next Saturday we'll be in Cowdenbeath. The following Friday, the 24th, we'll be in Perth. And on the 25th, we'll be in Saltcote. So I'm looking forward to seeing many of you who can make it up there. And those of you who are praying people, you might just spare a thought for Jonathan. There's a lot of miles to be done.
And a knee going through.
If you want to know more about anything, sue@jonathanveira.com is where you can ask your questions about anything, about the gigs or about putting on a show if you would like to.
Or buying any
I would love
records or CDs or books, please.
all of that. And jonathanveira.com will give you the details of most of the concerts. As soon as I get them, I put them up. I meant to look, and I'm so sorry I didn't before I started. I meant to look at the next dates for the Steinway Room. I haven't yet worked out which ones we can do, but we will certainly do as many as we can. No more in May, because we are out of the country. What can I say? Please, if you haven't subscribed already, please do so on Jonathan Veira YouTube. Just click that subscribe button and make sure that you subscribe so that you can get all the witty little videos that are coming up. Got a Friend Trust? Do you want to say anything about that?
Just want to say thank you for Adrian coming last time, and contributing so much. And thank you to you who contribute to Got a Friend Trust, who are helping so many people, an arm round, so many gifts that have been given, so many grants that have been granted. So you can give that, and you can see where to. And if you want help, please ask. And if you don't know who to ask, then contact us directly, or otherwise it's Adrian, and Adrian Pennock, and he's going to be willing to take your call or your email or whatever contact that you've got down there. Please do it, and don't be embarrassed. Please ask if you need. Goodness knows we've needed before, and I found it difficult to ask, but we eventually did. So come on, you can ask if you need help. I think that's about it, isn't it? Is that about right? And I think we're just going to. Can we try the two together? Go peaceful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Go. I'm sorry, Anthony. We were going to sing a song for you tonight, but we just didn't have time. But this one is for you. That's Anthony Cooper. This one is for you.
This one by Paul Field as well. So we've had a real Paul Field fest. And if you want to go and listen to his stuff, it's Paul Field at Bandcamp, on Bandcamp. But at paulfield.com, you can see his stuff. This one, Go Peaceful in Gentleness Through the Violence of These Days. Go peaceful in gentleness through the violence of these days. Give freely, show tenderness in all your ways. Through darkness, in troubled times, let holiness be your aim. Seek wisdom, let faithfulness burn like a flame. God speed you, God lead you, and keep you wrapped around his heart. May you be known by love. Tonight we really do think about people who are not doing so well. We think of P and Rachel in hospital again, and it's a tiresome job being in hospital for so long. You know, I understand that, mate.
Yeah.
And let his grace touch you and be close to you now.
And for Marion Gaff too. Marion, you are struggling at the moment, and we just want to say that we're thinking of you, and we're sorry that you feel lonely, but I hope that tonight you felt surrounded by people that know you and care about
Big love,
you.
Marion. We look forward to seeing you up in the Lake District again. Hopefully this time you'll turn left instead of right and not go up Mount Kilimanjaro again. Instead, get to the hotel. Anyway, remember this. Be righteous, speak truthfully in a world of greed and lies. Show kindness, see everyone through heaven's eyes. Nice, that one, isn't it? God hold you, enfold you, and keep you wrapped around his heart. May you be known by love. God hold you, enfold you. It's a nice idea. And then keep you wrapped around his heart. Thank you, Paul, for that. May you be known, my love. And now finally, actually, we leave you a little bit late, but I don't care about that. We've had a great time here having the Arthys in. Round of applause, big hearts, please. Thank you. There we go. And we thank them as they travel. We pray that God will bless them. And we give them, instead of Paul's words, we give them God's words. From Numbers chapter 6, the Aaronic blessing. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and give you his peace. Now, I haven't sung this all the way through for some weeks. And you know what? We're going to go overtime. And Captain Marin Gaff, kind of get your hands together if you can. Do what you can do. Right, feel God and his presence around you right now. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine on you. The Lord bless you and keep you and give you his peace. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine on you. The Lord bless you and keep you and give you his peace and give you his peace. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord turn his face toward you. The Lord bless you and keep you and be gracious to you. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord turn his face toward you. The Lord bless you and keep you and be gracious to you and be gracious to you. And until we meet again, until we see you again, God bless you. Remember this, that the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine on you. The Lord bless you and keep you and give you his peace and give you his. It's been lovely having you with us once again on JV Live from the Steinway Room. Spread the news. We'd love to have more people on, even in these hot summer days. And we pray God's blessing on you. And Sue, it's good night from me. It's good night
and
from
it's
him.
good night from me.
God bless.
Have a good time, and we will keep in touch whilst we're up in Scotland. All right, we'll send out little messages out on YouTube.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Take care. Have a good week. Bye.